What is the number of post offices that we have in the country? These are more than police stations or less than police station? Any idea?
Now, Devghar is in Jharkhand and it's proximate to Bihar. So, is it a fact that caste plays a prominent role in Bihar politics and also in Bihar society?
Okay, recently we have had a case in Haldwani.
Yes.
So, what is your objective view on this?
Please come.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Please take care. So, how are you, Rashia? You are working in Indian Postal Service.
Yes, sir. Currently, I'm undergoing probation in postal.
Undergoing. Do they allow you to appear in IAS examination when you are undergoing training?
Yes, sir.
But I think Indian Police Service they don't allow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this distinction I did not know about. Okay, so you completed your training or still a few more months to?
There's still around 6 more months to go.
6 more months.
Yes.
Okay. Generally, a question arises in minds of people who are not fully aware when in the age of internet or email and courier services. What is the relevance of postal service?
Sir, its relevance is changing, but it is still relevant.
Hmm.
We are the most economical way of delivering mails and parcels all across the country. So it is very beneficial for small and medium sector enterprises, for our rural customers, even for our urban poor customers. Apart from that, we are an extension of the government in the most hinterland areas from Campbell Bay to Jammu Kashmir. We are also the to-go center for the government in times of disaster management. In COVID pandemic, we delivered cash to the rural poor all across the country. So while I realize, sir, that we still have around only 4% market share in courier sector, but our relevance is unparalleled and it cannot be questioned.
Maybe add something more here that your presence in rural areas is phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
Your courier service will not be there in a village or
Yes,
something
sir.
like that. So, what is the number of post offices that we have in the country?
Sir, we have around 1.5 lakh post offices.
1.5 lakh.
Yes, sir.
These are more than police stations or less than police station? Any idea?
No, sir, I don't have an exact
Yeah.
idea.
There are only 18,000 police stations and you have 1.5 lakh post office.
Yes.
And banking services also there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think post offices will continue for a long time. I mean,
Yes, sir.
but one of the services which post offices used to offer that has been curtailed or stopped completely. What is that?
So, is it the telegraph services?
Telegraph service.
Yes.
That has gone. That is
Yes.
now part of history only. Okay.
Yes.
You are a student of political science also
Yes.
and history also.
Yes.
What was your subject in IAS exam?
Sir, political science.
Political science.
Yes.
Can you name one or two great political thinkers who changed, you can say, the world in last century?
So, in the last century, Hannah Arendt is one political thinker, and she pointed out the phenomena of banality of evil and how people need to be politically aware for democracies to flourish and for people to truly be able to exercise their rights. Another I feel is Mahatma Gandhi, who was an unparalleled personality who highlighted the role of the common man towards
What is the role of the
independence of the
common man?
country. So, Mahatma Gandhi pointed that common man can attain independence all across the world with the use of their moral force and not the use of violence or not through mere revolutionary
Okay,
action.
since you have talked of Mahatma Gandhi,
Yes.
he is called father of the nation.
Yes.
Why he is called father of the nation? Was there no nation before Mahatma Gandhi?
Sir, there
Since
was
it's a political science question.
Yes, sir. Sir, there was nation before Mahatma Gandhi also, but Mahatma Gandhi ensured that people of multiple religions, castes, students, farmers, women, people who were earlier excluded from
Let me
political
go to a
process.
basic question.
Yes,
What
sir.
is a nation?
Sir, a nation is a group of people who have common identifiable, uh, alignments and who share a sense of
For what?
uniformity.
For what? For a goal. That's why freedom struggle was a goal. We have to succeed. So everybody joined. So he created a nation
Yes, sir.
out of 550
Yes, sir.
states and princely British
Yes,
territories also.
Yes, sir.
That's why he's father of the nation.
Yes, sir.
So nations goals keep changing.
Yes,
Right now, freedom struggle is not a goal.
yes.
Some different goals will have to.
Yes.
Okay, so this is now what is fascism?
Sir, fascism refers to one party state and a state ruled by one leader, where the goals of the leader and the goals of the party is deemed to be the goal of the entire state. It is made from the word Fassi, which means a bundle of sticks. And Nazism in Germany and fascism in Italy.
Just wondering, in fact, you have been a brilliant student, but then of course, why did you go in for the open university systems for your BA?
Sir, it was not my choice.
Right.
I prepared for engineering entrance examinations, but after that I couldn't take admission in engineering in any engineering institute because of family conditions, and there was no good engineering colleges in my neighboring areas, and I was unable to go out of my town at the moment. Therefore, I had to continue my education, and I found out that the colleges in my area, they completed the graduation in 5 years at that point, while IGNU completed the graduation course in a proper time of 3 years. So I found it to be a better option.
Right. You have mentioned that you're interested in debating.
Yes.
Now, and you are a student of political science.
Yes.
One nation, one election will destroy the federal polity of the country. Have a debate on this. Speak for the motion.
Firstly, speaking for the motion,
Yeah.
there are contradictory and different interests of national parties and state parties. State parties have the goal of the welfare of the people of the state, while national party take the entire interests of the country. And clubbing both the elections together can lead to an undue advantage for the national parties. And researchers showed that more people are going to vote in the interest of more people are going to vote for national issues, and state parties may be at a loss in the time of one nation, one election. Secondly, state parties can have lesser funds, can have lesser electronic media resources, etc. at their disposal, leading to a lesser advantage to them, which will not be in the federal interest of the country. Thirdly, I feel, sir, that national parties, there can be a question that if national parties, if the Lok Sabha collapses before the period of 5 years, then what would happen to the state political parties who have an independent identity as per the constitution? So these are the issues against for the motion. However, there is also an equally compelling points for the motion, and we also have we used to have kind of simultaneous elections for the early.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have mentioned analyzing social issues.
Yes, sir.
Now, Devghar is in Jharkhand and it's
Yes.
proximate to Bihar.
Yes.
So, is it a fact that caste plays a prominent role in Bihar politics and also in Bihar society? And how would you ensure the elimination of rampant casteism in Bihar? In Jharkhand, now I have to say Jharkhand.
Yes. So, to an extent, caste plays a prominent role because the identity of people is at times linked to their caste as well. But as we are developing, there are sections of people who understand the role of other factors like development, security, law and order, etc. So we are seeing a declining role of caste, including in places like Bihar and Jharkhand. And as an administrator, first of all, I would ensure that education that builds national consciousness is delivered to the students. For example, we have Desh Bhakti curriculum in Delhi. A similar model can be adopted in places where casteism is rampant. Secondly, all cases of caste riots which further enhance casteism in the society will be tackled as per the law and order, as per a law and order issue. Thirdly, I would rope in prominent panchayat leaders, prominent leaders like MPs, MLAs, sports persons in the area, so that people are able to understand that caste should be a thing of the past, since these people have influence in the local areas.
But they are so entrenched. Would you also like to talk in terms of something like encouraging intercaste marriages?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Wouldn't there be a social backlash?
Yes, sir.
How will you manage social backlash?
Sir, I feel that whenever while we can encourage intercaste marriages, but mere lip talk would not do. We have to ensure safety and security to the people, and in case of any social backlash, it has to be treated as per the prevalent laws, and strict action has to be taken against it. And also, in the areas where such a backlash is more prominent, we can have a proper analysis of those specific areas, and we can have awareness campaigns in the panchayats, in local government offices, etc. And we can ensure that people understand that if they resort to such a thing, it will have an impact, and the law and order will take its due course.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, continuing with social issues.
Yes.
Which is the biggest issue that you feel should be resolved or ameliorated in the country today?
Sir, I feel that child marriage and child labor are two things that should be eliminated in the country.
And how would you go about doing it?
Sir, first of all, I would look into the areas which have a higher prevalence of child marriage and child labor. For example, in the areas around my district, child marriage rate is much higher than national average. So those pockets of villages where it is more prominent, child labor and child marriage, that would be looked into, and the core reason why this is happening would be analyzed. What I feel, sir, that poverty is a big enabler for both of these two. So while I will take actions against employers who are engaging child laborers or families who are putting their children through child marriage, I would also ensure that there are good economic opportunities in the villages, that people have decent job opportunities, and they have a good amount of prosperity, so that the core reason behind these issues is tackled. Also, I would ensure that if any such action is happening, it shouldn't be encouraged or tolerated, and strict action should be taken.
Okay. You talked of caste-based divisions and all.
Yes.
What do you think of division based on the religion, which is rampant? Would you like to address this part?
Yes, sir.
What do you think of it personally?
Sir, personally, I feel that any form of division that divides the people of our country and makes them into echo chambers, that is against the idea of fraternity. And sir, at a larger level, we see communal riots and all, and those shouldn't be tolerated at all. But at a micro level, we see, we often see ideologies that promote such such communalism. For example, people legitimizing these things. But fortunately, these are minority, and as an administrator, it is my duty to ensure right education, value education from an early stages itself, and also include it in adult literacy campaigns in those areas where communalism is prominent.
Okay, recently we have had a case in Haldwani.
Yes.
So, what is your objective view on this?
Sir,
If you are the DM there, how will you resolve the issue?
Sir,
Would you have allowed it to go the way it has gone, or you have used a different strategy?
Sir, when the decision was taken to demolish some structures, first of all, I would talk about it to the community people, to people of all communities located in that area. And as a DM
All
person,
communities means?
people of
Everybody.
all religions
All
and
religions,
castes
okay.
of that area. And as a DM, I would tell them why this decision has to be taken. And I would gain their trust, and I would also tell them to facilitate the process rather than creating a backlash. And I feel that when we take people into confidence as heads of a district or division, then such actions such communalization of issues would not happen.
Don't you get the feeling that somewhere or the other it is a selective kind of demolition being undertaken? Do you think this is the only one piece of structure which was unauthorized on an encroached land, if you call it so? Are there no other structures around, or in any other city, any other thing?
So there are multiple structures in our country.
So why do we pinpoint only one particular community structures?
Sir, I feel that if there is any structure that is unauthorized, then it is very legal to demolish it. But it should not be done in a manner where people feel that, people perceive that the government is not impartial. So I feel that rather than the act, it is the perception, and people, and as administrators, we should not create a negative perception.
Okay, let's be very frank, discussing it this way. There are any number of places of worships around,
Yes.
maybe temples, maybe this, under it, tree you will find some, temple created, a small photograph kept and some flowers kept, and people start worshipping.
Yes.
What do you do to this now?
Sir, if the
And
structure
how many temples are there of this type, or such religious structures, and how many have been demolished as compared to these?
Sir,
108 dargahs have been demolished
yes.
in maybe UP or somewhere. I don't know. I'm forgetting the name of the state.
Yes.
Very recently, last week. So what do we say to this?
Sir, I feel that if there is any unauthorized structure belonging to any sect or any caste or any religion, then as a district magistrate, it would be my duty to act as per the prevalent laws. And first of all, I will engage the people of the locality.
That's fine.
And then
But
demolish.
we are doing it only. Let's proceed further. UCC.
Yes.
You being a girl, tell me what is the impact of this UCC on Muslim girls? How will they take it?
Sir, I feel that first of all, it will have it will lead to a uniform set of personal laws, and practices like child marriage, nikah halala, or all those, and personal laws pertaining to divorce and marriage would be replaced with a common set of laws and structures, and that can lead to more uniformity in its implementation. And it will also curb child marriages. And apart from that, it for all the women, since it has a clause that facilitates registration of live-in relationships, so it can lead to some amount of protection for them in case of abusive live-in relationships, etc.
Okay, good. Black Sea Grain Initiative. Black Sea Grain Initiative. Tell me something about it. What was the necessity for this?
Sir, I am not able to exactly recall it.
Ukraine war?
Yes,
Russia,
it was
Ukraine war?
related to Ukraine war,
Yeah.
but I am not able to recollect it.
Okay, no problem.
Now, you had history majors. Huh?
Yes, sir.
What do you understand by history majors? What are subjects in that?
Sir, I had history as my main subject, and I also had some courses of political science and public administration along with it.
Right. Uh, now, tell me one thing. Why do India and China have antagonistic relationship?
Sir, if we look at worldview, then China is rising. It is a revisionist power, and China views India as its primary contender in the Indo-Pacific region. Because of, and as Kautilya has said, that a neighbor is a natural enemy, and it is more a natural enemy, in my opinion, if a neighbor is equally capable to challenge its rise in the future. So that is a key reason for their antagonistic relations. But we also have cooperation in areas like climate change, South-South cooperation, etc.
Yeah, but what are the border issues that have cropped up?
So we have border issues in Arunachal Pradesh, in Doklam, Galwan areas, etc. And the issue is largely because the border areas were demarked in British times, and India and China claim different borders. One side claims Johnson line, and the other side claims McCartney-MacDonald line, if I am correct.
Now, tell me one thing. Both the countries are putting up the infrastructure, especially in the Leh Ladakh area,
Yes.
right? Would that help in what you call in breaking the ice and having a better relationship?
Sir, if we talk from an idealist perspective, it would definitely not help, as both the countries would see the border villages and border infrastructure as a source of threat. But as a bureaucrat of India, I want my country to be safe and secure in times of any attack by any foreign power. And we need to have secure borders, strong infrastructure, and good border villages to have deterrence. So I feel that is the rationale why the government is focusing on border roads and infrastructure.
But tell me one thing, what is, once we are talking in terms of international relations, in fact, and the theory of deterrence you're talking about, what is the strategy? What is the strategy that normally China employs in its dealing with areas that come under certain area of controversy? What is the strategy that employs? Does it believe in settling the borders, or does it believe in perpetuating, and for what reasons? And what is the guiding factor that makes China do all these things?
Sir, China believes in perpetrating the border disputes because it feels that in the coming decades it will rise as a major power, and it will have an even greater say, and it can even annex the countries or the regions that are much relatively weaker than it.
But let us get into the Chinese psyche.
Yes.
As to why it is what you call it is it is always wanting to annex something, all over the world is trying to do it. What is the reason behind that?
Sir,
there's a very typical terminology which
Sir,
the Chinese think about on those
Sir,
lines, that psyche of
is
Chinese.
it called the Middle Kingdom? Sir, are you talking about Middle Kingdom complex?
The Middle Kingdom is one area, and another area is.
Yes.
Do you have some idea about the Chinese shame?
Sorry,
The Chinese shame, or
sir,
they feel that they have been they have been by the Europeans, they have been
yes, sir.
put into an area of shame, and they want to come out of it.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You are from political science.
Yes.
There is a term called irredentism. Have you heard this? IRREDENTISM.
Sorry, sir, I have
Not heard.
No.
So China is following that.
Okay, thank
You
you.
know,
sir.
once upon a time, this land belonged to me, and
Yes.
I must recover it when I'm
Yes.
powerful enough. So
Okay.
this is called irredentism. Okay.
Okay.
So that is one of the reasons. China says it can wait for 100 years to claim what it's. That country thinks that it belongs to that country. And you also talked to borders.
Yes.
Borders issues, can they be resolved by the fighting and all that?
No, sir, they cannot be resolved by fighting. And if we have grassroots level talks in the borders, then
So
impromptu.
diplomacy is the best way to resolve
Yes, sir.
this thing.
Yes,
And
sir,
are
definitely.
you aware how borders were drawn all over the world, especially in Africa and Asia, and including US? I mean, US also I'm talking about.
Sir?
Straight lines.
Yes, sir.
So who created these borders?
Sir, largely colonial powers.
Colonial
have
powers
these.
created.
Yes.
And the countries, I'm not talking of India and China here.
Yes.
All the countries, they say we will not give an inch.
Yes, sir.
Both the countries say will not give inch. So generations will keep fighting.
Yes.
So is our can armed forces provide solution to these problems created in very arbitrary manner?
Sir, I feel that diplomacy, including track to diplomacy, engagement of people and scholars, can be a better way ahead.
No, is it not necessary or important to convince the people of that country? These lines were drawn in very great haste
Yes,
and
sir.
keeping imperial interest in that mind,
Yes,
creating
sir.
buffer state like Durand line or even McMahon line, or
Yes.
in Africa, the straight line drawn by Bismarck and all European powers.
Yes, sir.
So permanent solution, where does it lie?
Sir, permanent solution lies in engaging the people of border regions as well.
So we need a statesman
Yes, sir.
who can convince people and then draw line
Yes.
once again. Anyhow.
Yes.
So again, coming to history, what are two, or let us to begin with a battle which changed the course of history in last 500 years or
Sir,
last 1000 years? India history changed because
sir,
of that battle. Whoever was here got defeated, and
the Battle of Plassey is one.
Battle of Plassey is also one.
Yes,
Of course,
sir.
that changed. So, but I'm talking of 16th century and all that. All battles, Battle of Panipat 1, 2, 3, they were all fought near Delhi.
Panipat, yes.
Why were battles fought near Delhi, so close? Why not on the borders?
Sir, because the control of Delhi was a key factor for the control of
That's of
India.
even now it continues to be.
Yes,
If
sir.
Delhi is captured, then I think.
Sir, and Panipat was a strategic location and it was on the route of.
How could they come right up to this place? These days, our border is where it is, that.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Why we did not have something like that?
Sir, it was
Khyber
close to
Pass or
Aravali
Bolan
ranges.
Pass or like that.
Yes, sir. Sir, what I have read
Think
was.
as a historian and tell.
Okay, sir. So it was close to Aravali ranges, and soldiers and troops used to come from the passes in the western frontiers and come straight on the Aravali ranges, on the places close to Aravali ranges, which had flat grounds.
Anyhow, Jaya, you are dressing. Things are different.
Okay.
Because that time different kings were there. Here was the king, who ruled from here all over India. So they could come right up to Delhi. There were no, force like border security force or armies deployed right at the, I told you the, passes which we had, Bolan or Khyber or Hindu Kush and like that. So, any of those are the reasons. And do you know about history, since you are a student of history of Palestine? Who you feel is the villain from very beginning between Palestinians and Israelis?
Sir, I feel colonial powers are the villains. Because,
and second,
sir, and
colonial powers, how they are villain?
Sir, because in the earlier times, there were invariably some disputes between Israelis and Palestinians, but the situation was never as bad until Britain intervened in the situation and created Israel as a homeland of Israelis, and the covert support given to various proxy actors like Hamas, etc., by various imperialistic powers.
Anyhow, you are
in
giving some
Palestine.
reply, but here itself my feedback. Please read History of Palestine. It is
Okay.
available on UN website, 95 pages.
Okay.
It gives, most authentic this thing, how Western powers, especially Allied powers, because during Second World War they played very important role.
Yes.
So they said we'll resolve issues of Jews,
Yes.
and Jews wanted to go back to their mythological homeland,
Yes.
which they left 1,000 years back.
Yes.
And they found it better let them go there rather than settle down in Europe only. You are now welcome, will not persecute you here and anymore, you continue there. Or they would have gone to America, it's still vacant.
Yes.
After 100 years also they are taking every year 10 lakh people or something like that.
Yes.
But they did not take, total population that time was 15 lakh. But they sent to their country where already people were residing. They never left that country.
Yes.
So primary villains are Western powers,
Yes.
Britain especially, and secondly Israelis themselves, that they wanted to come back to imaginary mythological
Yes.
homeland, which might have belonged to them, but for 100 years, 1,000 years, nobody keeps
Yes.
that vacant, and the Palestinians never left, they were always there.
Yes.
So anyhow, I'll again come to that feedback.
You are very logical and honest candidate, and very comfortable throughout. You maintained your composure even when the sensitive issues were being talked about, and a very pleasant candidate. And I'm sure you're going to engage the board very well. And I also feel that you can influence your team very well, wherever you are and whatever positions you have in future, and you'll be an effective leader. Having said that, maybe you can wear a sari which is plain with maybe a little border,
Yes.
of white, whatever color you choose, very light
So
colors.
this will not be my interview
Yeah.
dress.
हाँ.
I
So
just
फिर
feel-
भी I thought I'll
Yes.
mention it to you. As a DM or any official, you actually have to take a very fair and just approach.
Yes.
I agree, Haldwani issue is blatantly an eyesore because it was on the encroached land, Nazul land, whatever land,
Yes.
and it had to be removed. I agree. But then you must also feel holistically, are there any other structures, whether religious or otherwise, which are also having similar kind of issue of being erected on the your unauthorized land? Are you going to initiate any action on those? I agree, there are the court orders and you have to implement the orders, and as you said, with the communal harmony as far as possible, all that is fine. But then are you going to leave it at that? As a DM, it should click to my mind, if this is one structure which is unauthorized, are there any others? What am I going to do about that?
Yes.
At least raise the flag.
Yes.
You may not, some people may not agree to demolish that, but at least you should, inner consciousness feel, this is not right, this is wrong, but this is not right either.
Yes.
The fair and just approach, then only people will respect you,
Yes.
and you'll respect yourself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, in order to boost your confidence and to take away or rather to banish the monotony, you think of yourself as an officer who has to lead,
Yes.
and lead and command respect, not demand,
Yes.
but command respect.
Yes.
So your delivery, you must feel that you are in commanding position. Now,
Okay.
the moment you think you're in commanding position, you tend to perform
Yes.
likewise. That thought process, you think that you're an officer. You don't think that you are a probationer, or don't think that you are a person who has come to the board. But that does not mean that you have to be arrogant,
Yes. Sir.
The moment you feel that way, and you would need to practice a bit more. So that sort of a thing. Because see, ultimately what happens, you already faced the interview board. How much marks did you get in the last interview?
179.
So you did fairly well, and this time the challenge is to get much more.
Yes.
Much more. I'm
Yes.
not saying much more, but much more. So how do you get it? Knowledge base is one thing. The delivery, the personality, and the position of command. The moment you realize that, you will do it well. Now there are some small issues like history majors and other things, So all of a sudden, I thought, let's start interviewing on. So let's start asking questions on this also. You're getting confused about history majors, even if it has got component of political science and other things. But history majors, you were getting confused about the McMahon line and the Radcliffe line and other things. You started coming up with a third line altogether. So don't do that. You already know these things, And your analysis and the debating skills are pretty good. So that's not an issue at all. You can analyze well, and apart from that, now you are wanting to switch over from the postal service to the IAS, IPS, audit accounts, and the IRS, CNIT, that's customs and income tax, both in fact, So obviously you should try to know the fundamentals of these services also, because that is expected of you as to why. And then, of course, apart from that, the IAS and IPS in particular, they need a lot of functioning at the grassroots level.
Yes, sir.
So the developmental and other issues needs to be kept in mind. Very much, the government, the different schemes of the government, etc. It should be at our fingertips. And the factors which inhibit the what you call the application at the ground level, and the changes that are being brought about. Because see, ultimately, there are a lot of research is something like return on investment or especially the impact assessment, as you call it, So all those things are going on. So you should be very well. Now your answer should not be what you call primary. It has to be much more than that. Okay. I hope you're able to get it. And you've got time for this.
Yes.
I would suggest, because see, ultimately, we want you to do very well. So in that case, I would suggest, even for the sake of a repetition, that you take out what you call some sheets of paper and you put some bullet points, etc. So that especially on the government schemes, etc., you don't falter over there at all. Yes. And history majors also, some of the contemporary issues, other things, and service also tell you a lot of other things also. See it from the practical point of view and do a lot of practice. I mean, nowadays it's very, very easy. Aap smartphone mein apna kya bolte ho dekho. You will all of a sudden realize that. Earlier you used to practice before the mirror. Now the smartphones will tell you the entire story, you do the recording, etc. Right? Yes. So that's all. Wish you all the best.
Sir, I should also be making my answers more specific by adding government schemes, etc.
आप पढ़ोगे knowledge रहेगा तो फिर आप that depends upon what sort of questions are being asked. Unnecessary, don't make it too long and dragging also.
Yes.
But try to address the issue.
Yes.
Because the expectation will totally change.
Yes.
In your case, the expectation will totally change.
Yes.
Sir.
So go as per his advice. Okay. And in relation to the concepts of political science, you should be thorough with them. I think you have this book.
Sir, I read it, I haven't revised
every
it
concept
after.
is so clearly explained and that.
So,
Andrew Haywood. I think this is almost a primer for that. And the second one, in case you have this one also, the key concepts.
And sir, I really
this one.
Okay, sir.
You have?
Sir, I have it.
Please then go through these. Actually basic, 5-10 important concepts. What makes a nation? What is politics to begin with?
Yes.
People say we should not indulge in politics, but I say we should indulge in politics. Politics is taking things from bad to better.
Yes.
So if you don't do politics, nation would not have become free.
Yes.
Okay. So today you are demanding some rights. Unless you do politics, you will not get those things also. So these come by way of politics or not by any administrative, writing letters or something.
Yes.
So politics everybody should do, but positive politics.
Yes.
And the interest of the nation, interest of community. All these things are given. So civil society, this, that. I need not mention. Keep that in mind. And also milestones of history. Yes. Because your history is your major subject. Yes. And wish you very best.
Sir, I like that. I must again give her a lot of credence in that, especially why did she do from the Open University, in fact, and she gave the most appropriate reply. I mean, she was so honest about it. Sir, and especially in the social context of Bihar and Jharkhand, but they would not like a girl to go very far away for higher studies.
That's why they created, and which is the biggest university in the world?
Sir?
Which is the biggest university in the world? Which has the largest number of students?
Sir?
It is that only in which you studied.
Okay, sir.
No university in the world has got that number.
Okay, sir.
Okay? And many more have come up. Yes. How many total universities are there in our country?
Sir, I am not sure.
You should know there are 1,000 right now, approximately. And to national education policy to have GER, what you call gross enrollment ratio, from the present to 50 by 1930, we should have 1,000 more universities. Okay. Every week new university should come up in case GER of, you want to be a developed nation, no? The developed nation cannot be an illiterate nation.
Yes.
especially youth. Thank you very much. God bless
Thank
you. Okay.